you're watching Amitha Verma. We are coming upon Thanksgiving week, and I wanted to share with you some really quick how-tos on how to set this year's table with the hottest trends of the year. Now you see, I actually was not going to host Thanksgiving this year. My younger brother and younger sister live in New York and San Antonio respectively, and at the beginning of the year, they all told me that they were not going to be in town for Thanksgiving. So I was actually looking forward to a really relaxing week celebrating our son Rohan's 11th birthday and our wedding anniversary on November 28th this year. So they just called me a few weeks ago and have changed their mind and have decided to not only come to Houston, but come to my host to host Thanksgiving last minute, make the meal, set my table, and all of these great things. So as I'm working on my table and what I'm planning on doing, I wanted to share with you how to quickly set a table that's going to make your family and friends feel so warm and welcome this holiday season. So the first thing I love to do on my table is put a table runner down. That helps me define where I'm going to create my table design, my centerpieces, the candles, and all that good stuff. And I'm going to share with you one of my absolute favorite design hacks. I hope you run out and do this today because it's so easy and looks so great. So here you can see where we put down a table runner down the center of the table, and what you're looking at is, believe it or not, drop cloth. This is drop cloth that I picked up from the hardware store and just pressed and folded over to create a 16-inch runner on my dining table. Here's one that's super simple, it's plain, it's got no pattern, but it gives you this gorgeous heavy linen with these flecks in the fabric appearance. Here is another drop cloth table runner idea. My boys and I created this last year where we did the exact same thing, folded over a drop cloth, and then we painted this really beautiful design with Amitha Verma chalk finish paint. We have workshops at Village Antiques where you can come and do this exact same project, but this is another great idea to get a beautiful runner to create your Thanksgiving holiday centerpiece design. So this year I wanted to do something a little bit different and bring a little French country charm onto my table. So instead of my usual drop cloth runner trick, I opted to go for a little bit of a printed fabric like you can see here with this gorgeous toile. I did exactly what I told you about with the drop cloth. I found a fabric pattern that I love, folded it over to about 16 inches and just pressed it down, and this is what I'm going to use to create my runner. Anytime I set a table, this is really my first step. You can get this at any of your favorite fabric stores or online. Super easy, something you can do to change out your table's personality, go with holiday colors or whatever matches your decor. It's such an easy DIY project. There's no big commitment. The next thing I like to do is to build my centerpiece and work my way out on either sides of the table. So I'm going to start with my centerpiece this year, and I'm so excited to include some of these beautiful trendy decor pieces that I snagged over at Village Antiques. I've seen these, you've seen these, but you probably haven't seen something as beautiful and luxurious as these really gorgeous, decadent silk velvet pumpkins. These pumpkins are so beautiful and so luxurious with this silk velvet. They are going to be the focal of this year's table that I'm going to work on. And I'm going to leave these out from now all the way through the new year. They're so luxurious and add such a designer touch to the table. Now that I'm done with the center, I'm going to build out this whole side of the table. And then when I've got that figured out, I'm going to flip it and do the exact same thing on the other side. The next thing I'm going to do is start adding a couple of centerpieces. In place of centerpieces, you could also use a breadboard or something to create a bigger area of visual interest. Now once I'm done with this step, the next thing I like to do is to add a little bit of repetition of what I have done in my centerpiece. Now that I have put a few of these objects down, you can see that there's a couple of empty spots, and if you're a minimalist, you can leave those empty spots. I'm going to use this opportunity to add in some of the trends of the year. We've got these gorgeous silk textures. Another big trend that we've been seeing in home decor is the color, can you guess? Gold. Gold, gold, gold. Go for the gold. I am super excited about the gold if you can't tell, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways how you can include this on your table. Now one way is with these beautiful, very pale colored gold stems. You can easily add this to any part of your table decor wherever you've got a little opening. Another easy way to add the gold into your table is just by updating. It doesn't have to be a big splurge like what you got maybe for your wedding set, but it's just a fun, quick set that you can use to have fun with the golds and dress up your table a little bit. You can also do this with your stemware and the dishes that you use to serve and plates and platters on your table. Next thing is to add beautiful layers of lighting on your table and in your room. Whenever I host a dinner party or a get together, I always put my lights down a little bit on a dimmer. If you don't have a dimmer on your switch, super easy weekend project, and you will absolutely love the effect it creates in your room. And whether you do or don't, I definitely want to encourage you to create different layers of lighting on your table. And I'm going to do this by just adding a couple of different votives. Here you can see a really beautiful tall one, not too tall so you can still have a conversation with your loved ones, as well as some really smaller petite votive holders to create really beautiful pockets of ambient lighting throughout your table. Now what I'm showing you here is ideally what I'm going to create on my Thanksgiving table this year, because I want the objects to be low enough to where I can see and talk to the guest on the other side of my table, as well as for all the other guests who will be dining at my home. If you're a little bit formal or you want to create a little bit of a more refined experience, a great tip that you can do is to use a taller candlestick to create a little bit more formality and elegance into your space. A great way that you can transition this table from the week of Thanksgiving or starting into the fall all the way into the holidays is by easily adding a beautiful holiday inspired piece onto your table. I would replace these tall candlesticks with this object, and here you can see how beautifully it ties in with all of the colors, the tones, the textures, and goes right into the holiday season. So what do you think? Are you ready to jump into your project and get started on your Tablescape for the holidays? I hope so. I hope you've been inspired. Before you leave, I wanted to share one of my favorite hosting tips with you. This is something I started doing last year. I tend to be a little bit more of a formal person when someone's dining at my home, and these are white linen napkins, dinner napkins, that are always on my table when I'm hosting a dinner party. As beautiful and as classic as they are, sometimes it can get a little boring, and I too love including some of the fun trends. So what I started doing was looking for really beautiful paper napkins with gorgeous designs like this one that you can see right here. I selected this one because it really matches all of the beautiful things that we're doing for this year's table, and I placed it right on top of my dinner napkin. So you can see it adds so much design, personality, and fun into your table. I swapped these out for different events, for Christmas, for Valentine's, for Thanksgiving, you name it. We have a collection of these available at Village Antiques, and wherever you find your napkins, this paper napkin idea is such a great way to add some personality into your table. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment and share a picture of your holiday table. We'd love to see it and love celebrating these events with you.